The song we offer you this week is a brand new song, and I really think of it as an offering. Anytime that we write something new at Mercy or we create a new piece of art, there is something holy that takes place, I believe, in the creative process, and it's a form of ministry. And so you give the song to the community, and then the song takes on a different life because art is something that may be produced by an artist, but when it's embraced by a community, it might become something completely different. And so it really is a gift and it is an offering, and it's our joy this week to be able to share this brand new song with you. The song is entitled All God's Children Deserve a Home. And it's the kind of song with a theme that you would think, perhaps, that it's something we would have written a long time ago. But it's not a song that I could have written, I don't think, before now. You see, my experience isn't homelessness. I have experienced homelessness through the experiences of my sisters and brothers who live on the street, through their stories, through engaging in their lives and being present, becoming part of a community with folks who live and make their way on the streets of our city. That's how I know homelessness. I didn't learn about homelessness because I read about it in a book. I didn't learn about homelessness because I went to a lecture. I didn't hear a speech. I didn't view a PowerPoint. The way I know homelessness is through the testimony, the life, the witnesses of my brothers and sisters. And so this song is birthed out of that. And I think it has an important theme. The theme is that everybody has a right to housing. I don't care who you are. All God's children deserve a home. It's not just that we need a home. We deserve a home. We never become so unworthy that somehow we don't deserve housing. What a foolish idea. And yet we have such a beat down culture in so much of our religion and in so much of our preaching that we make people feel unworthy of the basic necessities of life. Well, the reason you don't have something is because you did something wrong. That's a lie. We all have culpability. We all have responsibility. We all have responsibility, not just folks on the streets. All of us who live together in this city, in this nation, in this world, we are responsible to each other. And to love our neighbor as ourselves means that we must make sure that each of us has the things that we need in order to not only survive, but to thrive, to have the fullness of life. Jesus called it life abundant, right? That's what God desires for all of us. And so this fundamental proclamation, all God's children, every human being deserves housing, deserves to feel safe. And the refrain in the song says, how could you think that your neighbor deserves less than you? The things that you need, well, the rest of us need them too. I think is really the important takeaway in this song, other than all God's children deserve a home. How is it possible that we could think that? How could we think that others don't deserve housing? That folks who are vulnerable in our city don't deserve to be treated with dignity, with humanity, with compassion? And yet I can tell you, I've experienced it. There is a phenomenon of don't do it in my backyard, right? I can tell you, so many folks love mercy from a distance, right? We talk a lot in our community about loving with a long-handled spoon. And I'm pretty convinced that there are a lot of people in the city that love us with the longest spoon possible, right? They love the idea of mercy. They love helping somebody. But the only way we can love our neighbors is face to face. Writing a check, that's not the fullness of love. It might be important. We need financial resources to do the work that we do, but simply writing a check, putting it in the mail, or posting it some other way, that's not how we love our neighbors. We love our neighbors face to face. I couldn't have written this song without loving my neighbor face to face, listening to people's stories, not just being a preacher that had to tell somebody something, being a human being that has 2 ears that can hear and can listen to the stories of others. Allowing grace to open the eyes of my heart that I might be able to see the vulnerability all around me and realize that I, as a Christian, as a human being, have a responsibility for my neighbor. And so that's what this song is about. It has, to me, kind of a classic feel. Maybe it does to you, maybe it doesn't. But it feels classic. It feels kind of timeless. It's not a pop song. It feels a lot more like a folk song, even a little bit of a country song. And yet it's got that kind of rock and roll beat that carries it along. I think it has that kind of energy to it as well. And so it's a grab bag of a song, I guess, but it feels classic, and it's making a classic statement. And it's one that I hope that we can rally around. As the song says, before it's too late. Now is the time to make a difference. Now is the time to change our hearts and our minds. Now is the time to make sure that everyone in this city, everyone in this nation, everyone in this world has the basic necessities of life. As I said before, not just to survive, not just to get by, but to have life, and that more abundantly, to be able to thrive, to be able to experience God's peace and well-being. And as Dr. King reminded us, until we all experience that, until we're all living into that reality, that justice that God requires of us, then none of us have it. All God's children deserve a home.